So while we're waiting for some parts to come for this Puma, for the back axle, we thought we'd fill in our time by looking at things. And this has got to be the most stupidest idea I have ever seen. This has got an ABS module in it down here. And they've put 3 brake pipes right over the top of the clutch master cylinder. How stupid is that? Because we all know that they're always going. How on earth are you supposed to get that out? That's crazy. Why didn't they put the pipes around the back? Anyway, Paul's got a little squeaky problem with his master cylinder. When he presses the pedal down, it squeaks. So we've got one on the bench, but I thought you might be interested to see that. I'm not sure if the I think the left-hand drive's completely different, but that is ridiculous. Why did they do it like that? You know. Anyway, let's go and have a look at one on the bench. Here's a clutch master cylinder and housing, etc. pedal. This is out of an old 2.5 naturally aspirated diesel. We can see inside the mechanism. The squeaking usually comes from this pin here. Now in the good old days they used to put a grease nipple in there, or in this side here, and you could give it a pump of grease or two. But on these, they're pretty much sealed up. The only way you're going to get at them is from on the underside here with some light oil and spray it up there. So that's one fix. But I thought whilst we're here we'll have a look at this, because quite a few people get stuck when they're doing adjusting the pedals, because there's 2 different types. The earlier ones had a stop here for the pedal to get the height, and on here, turn my light on, you can probably see where the pedal stop is. Oh, there it is, look, see that bit there at the bottom, this bit? That's it. Oh, I can use this pointing thing, yeah. So that's it there, look, that's the stop. Now on the later ones they moved it up, they moved it somewhere, I moved it down here. Well anyway, this isn't well adjusted, it's like me. So you can see how much play there is on the pedal before it actually presses on the clutch. But it's hitting here. That now is the stop. A weird situation. So this really needs, this is a really badly adjusted mechanism. There is play, and of course the rod now, this rod is now pushing this way. So that's kind of good. So all we need to do is back off those 2 nuts and take them up to there, and then back those 2 nuts and break them off to here, and it should work fine. Now we've done a lot of these cylinders, but I just thought I'd show you where they squeak and how do we fix it. Yes, the multi-lube. We're going to squirt it.
Can I just ask? Oh, is it
it's on. Yeah, go on, ask me, go on. Don't be afraid, you've done your own YouTube videos.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a silly question. So that sits like that?
Bit more of an angle. No, so yeah, well, like about that, 45 degrees.
But on my car, this is on this side?
No, it isn't.
No?
This is the bulkhead.
Oh, okay.
Well, of course it has to be, because that's your bloody pedal. See what I mean? They always with us, they've been like that since Isaac Newton invented them.
Right. Okay.
So all we're going to do, take some crown rust proofing or some suitable lubricant and squirt either side under there. Now you might want to put a little bit of paper down or some plastic to catch all the drips that's going to come off there, but a good penetrating oil like crown rust proofing, drink up, it will work and it'll take away that squeak. But it's such a cockamamie idea that they couldn't put a grease point on it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking of. They were thinking that it'll get better. I don't know. Stupid. A place you can't oil. Because once that's in the car, it's a bit tricky to get underneath.
Yeah.
But it works. And of course this will creep all over the place. And it is a lubricant as well, so it's...
Is it like a WD-40? Is it that sort of thing? Or?
It's better.
WD-40 is not a lubricant, is it?
Huh?
WD-40 is not a lubricant, is it?
No, it's a water dispersant.
Yeah.
That's why it's WD-40, and they had 40 attempts to get it right. It's true.
Yeah, yeah.
And they used to call it rocket WD-40. Now the very old cans, and some of the cans over here, it's got a little picture of a rocket on it. And they used to use it for the missiles in the United States to keep water off the electronics
Oh, okay.
when they were outside.
All right.
Water dispersant, 40 goes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's made of. Somebody said it's made of fish oil. I don't know. They use it for all sorts of stuff, and I don't reckon much to it. Anyway, it's all right. It has its uses, you know. This is good if you want to lay something up for a long time. If you want to sort of squirt that cylinder and stop it going rusty.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
It's brilliant for that, and it's kind of easy to keep clean.
Yeah.
You know, wash it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just a little one there. So we're going to go to his car. We're going to give this a quick squirt. It's difficult to get into his car because it's not on the lift. It's not lifted up, but it's in the position where it needs to be lifted up. So therefore, getting the car door open is a bit of a pain in the old bottom. So that's basically it. That's why they squeak. It's worth a go, isn't it? It's worth a go.
Yeah.
Well, of course. While we're at it, these are notorious for going. These cylinders wearing out.
Oh.
Let me show you. Right, so we're going to have a look. Paul's asked what's under here, what's in here, what's in this cylinder, and it's the most basic bloody thing you've ever seen. But this is the internals of a clutch. We've been through it, but we don't want to do it again. But basically, Paul, you pay attention.
I am. Yep.
Stop fiddling at the back.
Yeah. Sorry.
What happens is, when you put your foot on the clutch, so you put your foot on the clutch, it compresses this piston.
Which is in here.
Yep.
Okay. So that's pressurised body.
That goes like that. So when you press that, that goes into there. Right. You can't see it.
No,
it's
no.
hidden.
Okay.
Believe me, don't you know?
So that's that way really. I'm pushing into there.
Yeah, you're pushing into there.
Okay.
So I wish did we say that bit? You just describe that a bit again, Paul.
So I was just saying, I've got in here. When I put my foot on the clutch,
that pushes that.
That's pushing
rod.
that rod into that way, which is
that's that rod.
Okay. And that's pushing on the end there, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, two things happen when you press the clutch. If we look down here, we'll zoom in a bit. What happens is, as you're pressing the piston in, this little valve here shuts off supply to the reservoir. Because if it didn't, as you're pushing down here, the fluid would come out of here.
Right.
It's a very, very clever little device. It's a little rubber washer that's on the end of here.
Okay.
And if you notice on these, it's cut away, and that's to allow fluid to come in when it's at rest.
Okay.
So at the very end of here, there's a drilling to allow fluid to come in and out. Right. So that's what it does. It allows fluid to come in. Press your pedal. This little valve locks off here, and then allows higher pressure fluid to come out here to operate your clutch.
Right. Okay.
Now that's easy, right?
Yes.
That's really easy. The bad design of this is full of brake fluid. It's not much of a lubricant. It's a very poor lubricant.
Okay.
So if you can see the seal here is in front of the piston.
Yes.
So that means as you're pushing this in and out, that piston has hardly any lubricant in it.
Right.
It's dry.
Okay.
So when this comes back, the piston, the actual seal, is on perhaps some rough material inside.
Okay.
So it wears out the bloody seal
All right.
in little lines. All right. So that's what it is. Now, to remedy that, JP and I came up with this idea. It's a scorcher. Because JP does hydraulics,
Yes.
he knows that a lot of the high quality jacks put a little thing called a wear ring on the piston.
Okay.
So instead of the metal touching the cylinder, the steel, this nylon wear ring will rub against the inside.
Okay.
And nylon's like a self-lubricating material,
Yep.
as you know that, don't you?
Yeah.
So, in theory, that seal should never wear out, because the cylinder's always going to be polished.
Okay.
How did we do it? It's a split ring, all right? It's split here. So he put it in the lathe, turned it down, so this is the same size as this,
Yeah.
right? So these two are the same diameter, but he undercut the piston a little bit,
Yeah.
so it's not touching.
Okay.
Great idea, isn't it?
Right, and then what did you do? Glue this on to stop?
No, it's
this?
just a snap round it.
Okay.
Now, we did it like that because we didn't want the piston, I have to keep looking at the thing, we didn't want the piston to rock and tip.
Yeah.
And because that's another problem with them. As you're pushing this way, it's got, oh, a minute, this. As you're pushing this way, it's got a tendency to go like that.
Okay.
You know, it's not square, it's got to try and push this up.
Right.
And again, look at that, it's going like that. So this would eliminate that.
Yes.
Except
Except.
I bought a brand new TRW cylinder. Right, this is it here. I have to. I'm sorry. I'm talking to Paul here and looking at you, but this is a brand new cylinder. Nothing unusual there.
Okay.
Except they've changed the design.
Oh.
They must have been listening to me and JP talking.
Oh yes.
And you see what they've done here? Oh no, you can't see, can you? Keep watching because this is interesting. You like this bit? They've changed the position of the seal. They put the seal at the back.
Yeah.
Rather than at the front.
Yes.
So that means even if this tips a little bit,
Yeah.
it's not running on metal
Yeah.
that's been scuffed about inside the cylinder.
Right.
Same principle, look, exactly the same. Because we thought, oh, we'll put a wearing on there. We thought, well, there's no point. Because now most of this is covered in hydraulic oil.
Yeah.
And this only this bit here, this little thin bit, is touching the side of the cylinder. But because it's so close back, it's been surrounded by the rubber, which acts like a wearing.
Yeah.
Clever.
Yeah.
Hey, it only took them 45 years to work that out. Crying out loud. But that's basically how it works. So if you're going to get a master cylinder, get a TRW one of the later type.
Okay.
They seem to be black.
Yeah.
Used to be like this. See, that's a Girling one.
Right.
But they're exactly the same, but the internals are different. You like that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Good, isn't it? The appliance of science. But like I say, this has been an awful problem, because if you start to see fluid leaking down the pedal, if you start seeing drips down here, that seal has worn out.
Okay, and how easy or hard is it to change this?
It's a complete bar steward on your car, because you've got to take the pipes off.
Oh, with the S.
You see, the reason for it is that this is banged up tight against the bulkhead.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I have to keep moving. We need a cameraman. We get that bloody drone out. So this is tight up against here. So even if you got the bolts out, it's a real tight to get in, to get that bottom nut out of here.
Right.
Now some people have managed by like getting the missus underneath the car with a spanner to hold this nut. It's easy to get off. Absolute bastard to get back on again. Yeah. So I always take the cylinders off.
Okay.
And your problem is those 3 pipes that go across here. How on earth are you going to get it out?
Yeah.
You'd have to disconnect the brakes. I can't see any other way of doing it.
You would unbolt it from here, would you lift the whole assembly out?
Yeah, you just take the carpet out, a rubber mat, whatever's underneath there, undo that, and it comes out.
Right.
In the old right-hand drives, easy,
Yeah.
out in a jiffy.
Yeah.
But let's go and have a look how bad it is in a left-hand drive. So on the left-hand drive, the cylinder's halfway under the wing, which means it's a bugger to get out. Don't worry about these pipes because we have a cunning plan.
Another one.
After all these years, we've got a cunning plan. Just pull back a bit. What we do is we unbolt the master cylinder here, pull it off its studs, right? Leave the pipes attached and just push it to one side. Then there's 6 bolts holding the master cylinder, the tower on, 6 bolts holding that on. Take this out, and then you can undo the bolts from the inside holding the master cylinder of the clutch on, and then it'll swing out.
Oh, okay.
Really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pipe is sometimes a little bit tricky to get to, but again, when this is out of the way, you can go in from your spanner on the side.
Yeah.
Easy. Now on a right-hand drive, you can see there's bags of room on a right-hand drive.
Yeah.
You don't have to take the brakes out, but we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a right mess about to do on a left-hand drive. So what you're going to do is put the best quality cylinder on you can get, and those TRW ones, they're the ones for me. Don't put the Chinese ones on, Britpart ones, made in India. Get the TRW ones and get the black ones. There you go.